every single day. This trial just gets so fucking weird. Larry is a nutball, you guys. I'm sorry, but he is. This is video 16. We're on day 12 of the Larry Millete case out of Chula Vista, California. His wife, Maya, vanished in January of 2021, never been seen again, but Larry's on trial for her murder. So I forgot to show you this from Thursday because that was the last day we were in court. We had the whole 3-day weekend off. And so this, what the fuck is with this guy? This is like an altar that he had in his home, like trying to do some sort of witchcrafty something to try and get his wife to fall back in love with him. He's weird. Today in court, there were 3 witnesses. And what the prosecution's trying to do is they're trying to prove that Maya wouldn't just get up and walk away from her life. Like, she had plans. They had vacation plans. They had other things coming up. She wouldn't just be like, peace out. One of the witnesses today is Claudia Gilau. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She's a former coworker and friend of Maya's. And she said that Maya reached out to her in October of 2020 regarding estate planning. Maya made a point that she wanted to be sure her children would be taken care of her. And this exact quote, "God forbid if anything happened to her." Maya admitted to her friend Claudia that she really knew nothing about the family finances. That Larry took care of everything. Side note, ladies, don't ever let this happen. Don't ever let this happen. Anyway, Larry handled everything. Maya had no idea like what they had, how much, where it would be kept, anything. The prosecutors argue that Maya could not have left on her own because she had no knowledge of where the money was, how to get to it, like how to access it, what accounts, nothing. Larry managed everything. Then there was a woman named Camille Camacho. And Camille is a professional photographer, and she'd worked with Maya and her family before. She is scheduled to take professional photos of Maya and her children and her Jeep. They were going to go someplace special and take professional photos. These were scheduled for January 6th, but a few days prior to that, Maya had called her to reschedule, saying that she'd been hurt or something and had some bruising or something, so she couldn't do the photos. And she asked if they could reschedule for mid-January. And of course, Camille says yes, but then she never heard from Maya again. And then guess who's back? Genesis. This is actually the 3rd day that Genesis has been called up to the stand. If you don't recall, we left off on Friday. She was doing all of this testimony about the time that Maya left Larry and went to live with Genesis and JR, who was Maya's brother, and all of this different stuff. Well, I promised you when she got back, they were going to do a cross-examination, and it was probably going to involve all those crazy text messages that Genesis and Larry were exchanging. Remember, this is the defense, right? She's on cross. And so these are Larry's attorneys. And they're going line by line by line, trying to review all these text messages. And essentially what they're trying to prove is that Larry is becoming increasingly desperate to save his marriage. And so they're asking Genesis, they read a text and they go, well, what's that one mean? What do you do? And there's a point where Genesis has had enough. Literally, she asks at one point, where are we going with this? Objection. I don't know that she's just allowed to blurt that out in court, but she did. And then she says, how many more pages are we going to go through? So Genesis was at her end. By December 2020, Larry was texting Genesis saying that Maya was threatening to end the relationship. Larry described himself as feeling emotionally and physically drained. He admitted to Genesis that he was in a very dark place. Also that Maya had requested an open relationship. Larry discussed Maya's spending habits, saying that she liked luxury purchases, the beauty products, that she spent a lot of money on things. Genesis did describe Maya as being affectionate with her kids and that she would just never like vanish and leave them behind. And we end the day with a man named James Rhodes. He is the supervising investigator from the DA's office. He did a download of Larry's phone searches. And again, this is the prosecution's case, right? We're back to the prosecution. He downloaded Larry's phone and there's all these different searches that they talked about. 11 deadly plants you should never eat. Water hemlock. Plants you can take to never wake up. Mystic lunar coven. How to tell if your partner is cheating. Doesn't he have a Ouija board? I'm sorry. Subliminal wife training. Yeah, he's into all of this. They also found a journal in the home. And this was Maya's journal, and it had random entries. I guess she might have been one of those people that just journaled at certain specific stages of her life when she was having issues or moments or drama. But it dates all the way back to 2011. So it is 9 years old, right? And in the journal, she talks about struggles that she had with her mother-in-law, concerns about her marriage. And again, this goes all the way back to 2011. And then one entry alleged physical and verbal abuse by Larry, and said that she was sometimes afraid of him. Now, the judge did tell the jury that this journal, this information can only be used to help with Maya's frame of mind, not as proof that anything really happened. Rhodes also talked about some text messages between Larry and Maya. And it showed what he described were patterns of obsession and control. And that's in quotes. Maya often asked for space. She wanted to be left alone. She was discussing separation, trying to get time away from Larry, asking for space. In June of 2020, so this is the month that Maya left their home to go stay with her brother and sister-in-law. In just June of 2020, Larry sent 473 text messages to Maya. I honestly, that's a lot. I think that's a lot. And then she sent 114 to him. And I don't know the dynamic. I don't know if she was just responding to his or if she was driving the conversation at some points. He basically sent 4 times as many messages as she did in 1 month. That's a lot of going back and forth. He's clearly very paranoid and wanting to get his arms around this situation as quickly as possible. Then they adjourned. It was about 4:45 their time when they adjourned, and they'll be back in court tomorrow. And I will be back because every day this gets stranger and stranger.